And this is Ken Kraetzer for Sons of the American Legion Radio in Philadelphia at the Lincoln Financial Field, which is being refurbished for the Army-Navy game here a week from Saturday. New playing field for the cadets and midshipmen to compete for the 116th time. And we were at the Army-Navy game press conference today, hosted by USAA, and something we look forward to attending each year, as the captains from each team attend, the coaches, athletic directors, and many of the supporters of the organizations in Philadelphia attend. We heard very gracious remarks from the mayor of Philadelphia, Michael Nutter, who mentioned how much he has enjoyed welcoming the players and teams and everybody from the academies to Philadelphia for this game. I think he wishes it was here every year, but as he said, he'll share it once in a while, but he thinks Philadelphia is truly the home of one of sports' greatest rivalries, the Army-Navy game. So it's a great day for us. Now we get a chance to meet some of the Navy players who we see on television throughout the year. And, of course, the superlative Keenan Reynolds, the quarterback of Navy, had a chance to chat with him briefly. Not as big as you might imagine, very strong and very composed, as you can imagine. And he learned during the presentation today that he was named the Offensive Player of the Year by the America Football Conference. And we also got a chance to meet their nose guard, and that is Bernard Sarah, from Pennsylvania, who we got a chance to chat with later today. One of the key players on the defense at nose tackle. Sometimes it's, as we know on Army, with TJ Altamala, how difficult a position that is, getting blocked all the time by the big offensive lineman, but trying to set it up the linebackers to make plays. So we got a chance to chat with the Navy players, and of course our friends from Army were there. Matt Giacinta from Cold Spring, one of the senior captains, a fullback, and Jeremy Timp, the linebacker, who's just had a superlative year for Army. We were chatting a little bit today about having talked on the first day of practice back in early August, and some of the ups and downs of the year. Certainly the game they played at Penn State was one of the highlights against a big team. They really held their own on defense, and it was a game. Army had a chance in the last couple of minutes in that one at Happy Valley. And then also Kelvin White joined the delegation. Kelvin has been always known as one of the inspirational leaders on the team. From what we hear at halftime, he's the one who revs everybody up, and he actually spoke on behalf of the team. We did chat with Kelvin before the luncheon today. We'll have that on our page, West Point Football Report, as days coming up to the Army-Navy game. And also we got a chance to talk with the coaches. Jeff Munkin was very gracious in his remarks to, as he described, his very good friend, Ken Niumatalolo, who they coached together. Jeff Munkin's been on both sides of the ball on this game, both sidelines, having been an assistant coach at Navy when he was really kind of young in his career. And so here on Ken Niumatalolo are good friends, but boy, are they competitors. And as Ken Niumatalolo said, the best way for them to show respect to Army, which they have, is to play their best game and be ready to play. And I know Army's going to be ready with a chance. I mean, everything else that happens before in the season is kind of put aside, because this is a special rivalry, one of the most pure rivalries in all sports. As was mentioned, we talked with Vice Admiral John Byrd of USAA about this, and he said, his best part of the day is after the game, when they sing the alma maters of both schools and the two teams stand with each other for the alma maters. First the alma mater of the losing team, then that of the winning team. So I know it's one of the great goals of the Army-Navy game is to sing second, as is the tradition, and so we'll watch for that. It's a great moment in the game, and so it's just one of the many traditions. I mentioned there'll be many events, competitions amongst the cadets and midshipmen on the day before on Friday. Things like there's a boxing match, That's going to happen. There's going to be a big pep rally and some other events. I know there's some more things that will be announced soon. So it's a big day on the Friday beforehand and the Friday night here in Philadelphia with lots of activities for the two academies. And then they get set for the March On, where the two academies, virtually the entire Corps of Cadets and the Brigade of Midshipmen will march into the stadium in their company formations. One of the great sights you'll ever see is the 30-odd companies of each school on the field on their perfect dress uniforms. And I have to say, I always like the Army capes that they wear. It's one of those distinctive uniform items that you'll ever see are the capes that the Army cadets, the West Point cadets wear for the wintertime for dress occasions, most notably the Army-Navy game. Big day, a lot of alumni come back, a lot of families come out, especially for the seniors. I mean, it's a big day just for the seniors to march in that, the March On, as they call it, to participate in that. It's one of the highlights of their careers at West Point to participate on that day. So each team has practice for the next week. We'll be up at West Point one day next week to do a few interviews, catch a few more of the comments of the seniors. They all know their branch assignments, and Kevin White was mentioning how he has selected to be in the infantry branch of the U.S. Army and how much that means to him. He feels it's a carryover of the team spirit that he's developed and been a part of as with the Army football team. So great day. It's just one of the great things that we're able to be involved with at Sons of the American Legion Radio and be supporters of, throughout all of the Sons of the American Legion, the Auxiliary, and the American Legion. We'll have members watching from all over the country. The festivities here a week from Saturday at the Lincoln Financial Field, and sponsored by a good friend of the American Legion, USAA. So just a week to go, a little over a week to go till this year's Army-Navy game. Just an amazing event to be part of. It's, as I say to people, it's like going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I've been to a Super Bowl, and really I would never trade going to the opportunity to be at the Army-Navy game and be able to tell the story of the players and the coaches and the cadets from Army and the midshipmen from Navy. It's just such a wonderful experience. So watch for us on West Point Football Report on Facebook, on Twitter, Sons Legion Radio, and we'll have more for you as we get closer to next week's Army-Navy game. So from Philadelphia, for Sons of the American Legion Radio, this is Ken Kraetzer.